Hi, Aries. I'm your fellow fire sister, and my name is Love from a Leo, and we are going to be jumping right into your August 2018 reading. I'm super hyped for August. It's officially Leo season. It's my birthday month, and I don't know. I just feel like the energies are going to be really, really strong throughout Leo season, as it always is. Okay, so your energy that you need to align yourself with is the moon card, okay? It is in reverse, and in this deck in particular, when it's in reverse, that means it's like super pay attention. This is something you need to pay attention to. Okay, so the moon. The moon is all about changes and going with the flow of things, emotions, the female in its true form. What females are: emotions, energy, and emotion. Motherly, maternal figures maybe coming up, traditions in your life. It's really just the softer side or the deeper side within yourself. So, the moon is emotions. If you have a shadow side, it's your darker side. It's what you feel. It's your emotions. Your moon sign is different from your sun sign. Your moon sign tells about how you react to things, how you're emotionally, how you deal with things when it comes to feelings and emotions, okay? So there may be a lot of emotional changes happening for you in the month of August. There could also just be a lot of healing, or maybe just a lot of you needing to be able to be emotionally available for other people. Maybe you needing to be a little bit softer this month and being able to be there for people, okay? You may have to be that maternal figure for some people. It doesn't literally mean you have to be a woman, but you need to possess and get in touch with your femininity, because we all have feminine and masculine traits, okay? Alrighty, so let's get started. I'm so excited for your reading. I'm like super, super hyped. We're going to start off with, for Aries in August 2018, we're going to start off with the beginning of August to see what all of that's going to be dealing with, okay? So let's get started. Aries. Whoa. Alrighty, so we got two cards that fell out on their own. Alright, so the bottom of the deck. So the energy for the beginning of August for you. Sorry, guys. My Virgo moon is coming out. I don't like for stuff to look uneven. It bothers me. Okay, so we have the Temperance card as the energy for the beginning of August. So when we have this card, this is really about being, having your tempers in alignment. This is about having tolerance for something. This is about finding something that matches your soul, something that is worth working with, something that is it's kind of like you need level-headed, making the right decisions, being wise. I usually I guess this would be more of like the Aquarius kind of energy, putting things together to make them work for the greater good. But it's also like Sag energy, in a sense that you would be finding your place in this, in this life. But also in the midst of doing that, you still have these times where you feel like you have to adjust with the things around you and work with the things around you and make them fit for your benefit. So that's kind of what temperance is about: finding tolerance and finding how things can work for your greater good. But also it's a good, healthy fit for you. It's not just, something happening. It's a healthy fit. It's a healthy change. It's a beneficial property to your life, added to your life. So to start off, we have the High Priestess here saying, hi, how are you? She is coming here to basically tell you that there's some lessons that will be learned through you going through these things, through you actually experiencing the changes. This is a good card. It is upright, so I do feel like there would be lessons learned. I feel like whatever you learned, though, it didn't hurt you. Because a lot of the times when we see the High Priestess, you'll have a lot of people that say, oh, if the High Priestess showed up, that means you did something you weren't supposed to do, or you're about to learn something that's going to be really hurtful, something you'll never forget, which is true. These things that we learn with the High Priestess, the lessons are very, very monumental in our life, but that's because it's such a strong reason that she showed up in the first place. So whatever she's coming up here to teach you, to show you, I do think you're going to learn from it, and I think it's going to be a beneficial way for you to be in the future. It's going to help carry you to be a better person in the future, okay? Next, we have the Five of Wands here. So this is, competition, arguments. This is assertiveness. This is really Aries energy. fire, like doing and expressing Mars energy. Think of Mars, okay? So really fighting for what you want. Now, if this is in a work setting, this will be good because it'll push you to have that competitive nature in a workspace, right? So that's channeling, aggression or assertiveness into a direct form of positivity, because it is enhancing the business, it's enhancing others around you, motivating them, the energy of motivation, but also you're getting a reward from it and you'll feel productive from it as well, right? So it's really good energy. But if this is in, love, if this is dealing with a mate or a spouse, this could be really, really difficult energy, because this is saying, okay, now we have this, we have something that needs to be confronted. We have something that needs to be fixed. We have whether it's a physical situation or it's emotions from two counterpoints trying to come together to compromise. But for some reason, there's something in the middle that's not matching. And so it's like one has to win. There has to be some type of leveling up. And so that can, create aggression. And that can create a lot of unnecessary, but just unnecessary arguing, a lot of competing. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to channel everything that I'm getting in my head right now. Okay. And then to end the beginning of your August, we have the King of Wands in reverse, okay? So normally this person is a good person around you, and this is a playful but really smart person. But this is a person that's now turning into like a nuisance, almost to the point where they're becoming like a tyrant and crazy, and they do things out of anger, and they go off of what they feel, and almost like they do things to you, or if this is you do things to another person, and to you it's not a big deal, but to the other person it changes everything. It's drastic for them. It's like how could you do this, or like why are you doing this? How do you not see where you're messing up? This is like, someone who's doing something out of malicious intent, but they don't see it as bad as it actually is. And so that can be really frustrating, whether it's you or the other person, because one, if it is you that's being that person, you need to figure out what the problem is. You need to figure out why you feel like you have to act out in such ways. We're gonna do clarification now. We're gonna start off with clarification with the High Priestess. What are we gonna be learning about soon? Alrighty, so we have two cards. So the first one we're starting off with is the Devil card. So there may be a Capricorn, or this could have something to do with your job. So maybe a lesson learned through work, or maybe a lesson learned with a boss, or maybe a lesson learned with a past addiction, or maybe just some type of cycle that you do continuously. This is something that's repetitive, a ritual of some sort, something that you do. And I think it has to do with family and tradition, something that's ingrained in you, but maybe it's something that you wanted to grow out of, I believe. And so I think you're going to learn lessons on the cycles and the demons of whatever it is that you were trying to get away from, or trying to pretend, isn't happening anymore. Or maybe it's something that you thought you were finished with. It's coming back to the surface, right? And it's starting to, rear its head and be like, okay, well, you did learn this and this from me, before, but now we're going to pop up to see how much you really learned from this situation. We're going to give you a task to see if, give you like a checkup, I always say the universe will always give you, extra homework if you're saying you're bored, or if you don't have anything to do, like if you're in school. So, at the times where we feel like everything is calm, sometimes that'll be the time where it's like, okay, well, you have free time now, so let's see how well you've learned. Let's see how much you've learned. And so that can be difficult for some people. And I also want to reiterate the fact that we are focusing on the moon energy for, August as an Aries for you, okay? So a lot of emotional things may come back to surface, just as, with the moon, we have a new moon and then we have a full moon. And throughout that, we have phases, and that's how we are as people. And that's why I say with this moon energy, it's really going to be important for you to be emotionally open and let the waters flow. Because as soon as you start letting some blockages come in, that's when you'll start having crazy, dreams may start getting crazy, signs may start getting too heavy for you, and you're not going to interpret them well. If you're not acting out well, then things can really start hitting the fan. So you really want to make sure that whatever you feel, you just feel it, and be emotionally honest about that, and feel whatever you feel. If you start seeing the signs in your dreams, if you start feeling really intuitive messages coming or downloads. That's all things that are, you know, in tune with this moon energy that as an Aries you are pulling from during the month of August, okay? So don't be afraid of it, but at the same time, allow it to be. Try not to change things about it. Try not to just go off of your Aries instincts to make action and to do. We do need to have, you know, movement happening, and you don't want to become stagnant. But at the same time, when you have emotions are finicky, you know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint how an emotion is going to be. It's not logical at all, okay? So use that fire instinct to be able to maneuver around those emotions and to be of aid for you, but don't allow it to steer you into making decisions that you're not ready to commit to, okay? So with the Five of Wands, what are we going to be competing with? What's going on? What is that all about? Where is that energy in the Five of Wands? All right, so whatever you're arguing with or for, it's something that needs to be finished. This could be something that's, it's like beating a dead horse. I feel like this is something that you've been dealing with for a while now, and you're like, okay, what the heck? Like, when am I going to, like, learn my lesson almost? When am I going to have the last word? When are they going to see that I'm right? I feel like you're trying to prove a message, and it's like you're beating a dead horse. So if you're doing that with someone, maybe it's time to, you know, realize what's happening, okay? And I do want to also say, in Leo season, with Leo being ruled by the sun, I do think, I think that Leo season has this ability to shed light on everything. Everything is exposed, you know, so a lot of people will show their ass. You know, if people are dicks in real life, it's going to show more in Leo season. You know, and so that's why I feel like when a lot of people say, oh, Leos can be too much or too bold, or they're selfish, it's not that. It's just whatever your ego is, whatever level of your ego, that's what's going to be amplified. That's what people are going to see. And then being, you know, the center stage as a Leo, even if you don't like being in the center stage, people are naturally paying attention, you know? So people will see that. And so I think it's very interesting with you having this moon energy for your August with, you know, Leo season with the sun. You know, the sun is everything for Leo. And I think that's an interesting contrast for you. So I think August is really going to be about, you know, comparing and contrasting the light and the dark. Almost like this Gemini duality, this balance of duality happening in your month of August. But I think it's really going to be beautiful to show you different sides of yourself, different shadows of yourself. Just like the moon, it changes, but it's not changing. It's just, you know, how the sun is, where the sun is and where the light is reflecting from, and that's what we see. So that's what I think you're going to be showing different phases of yourself, okay? And so for this King of Wands in reverse, who is this? Okay, actually, let's shuffle some more. King of Wands in reverse, who is this? Okay, so this is someone that you maybe found joy and blessings from, or blissness with before at one point. But this is also someone that you feel uninspired by now. Someone that almost the spark is gone. I'm hearing. I feel like that's the issue. This person is acting out, or this person is becoming a person that's more manipulative than fun and outgoing and happy, because it's almost like the spark is, the magic that made them magical is gone, or at least it's hidden right now. So if that makes sense for you, dealing with a certain person, then that's who I'm talking about, okay? So we're going to go into the middle of August for Aries. Too many cards. Okay. So in the middle of August, the energy of the middle of August for you is the Three of Pentacles, okay? So we will be moving into more of a smooth way to communicate with people, to work with people. Things will be just a lot more easy to communicate and just to work with and around with people, okay, during this time. We have the Knight of Cups here. So this is being really confident and being proud and optimistic about the emotional adventures to come in the future. This is super, super ready to take on the task and really stable with your emotional state, okay? So it's really going to feel really, really good, I think, for you towards the middle of August when it comes to your emotions, okay, and how you feel about things, okay? And we move into a time where it's going to be Four of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So this may be a time where you're not being smart with your money, so make sure financially you're not overspending. This is also a time where you may be overexposing yourself, maybe telling people too much. Again, with the Leo season, a lot of people will be overly open about things, okay? Transparency is going to be kind of hard to deal with, especially with this moon energy that you're going to be, working with throughout August. I also think that August is like the eclipse season, so there's a lot of eclipses that happen, a lot of storms. I was actually born in a storm. So there's going to be a lot of just changes happening, really frequent, fast changes, and also just exposures, a lot of truth being told, a lot of openings, a lot of happiness, because a lot of people are going to be back in touch with their inner child. That's another Leo thing. But so don't allow all of that joy to slap you in the face later on. So don't overspend or don't do things that later on you're going to be like, dang, why did I do that? But to end off the middle of your August, we have one of my favorite cards, which is the Nine of Pentacles. And I usually see this card as your overall mental state. Where are you mentally? And since this is upright, I do feel like you're going to feel a sense of independence and happiness and what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort. Like you're going to feel really comfortable in your surroundings because your mind state is okay. Because you feel at ease. Because you feel relaxed, because you know everything that you've done, regardless of how hard it was, all of that led up to the point you are at now, and you're going to feel a sense of, comfort and stability, and that's a wonderful feeling, Now we're going to go ahead and, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know what I'm showing. I'm trying to make sure I ain't doing too much right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at, this Knight of Cups. Who is this? Temperance. So that Knight of Cups, remember at the beginning of August where I was saying temperance is what the energy is going to be like for the beginning of August? I think in the middle of August, you're also going to solidify the feeling using temperance, using tolerance, and learning how much to do with this and how much to deal with that emotionally. I think you'll feel the power that exudes from that in the middle of August, and this is going to be the person that does this for you. Now this could be you, because you are going to be on this emotional journey during August, okay? So this could be you being optimistic about it, but if it's not, then this is someone who calms you down, who keeps your head on straight, okay? This is someone who's going to level you out, balance you out, okay? They very well could be a Sag, maybe an Aquarius. I'm thinking Aquarius. Okay. Oh. Okay, so with this Four of Pentacles in reverse, meaning maybe you need to make sure you're not spending too much, or make sure you're not telling too much about things that you have going on in your life, or things that's going on in other people's life. There's going to be a lot of signs that you're doing things, like warnings, like, okay, you're doing too much. And so whenever we have signs continuously coming, we know something's going to happen. So we know that regardless if we're paying attention to them, if we're noticing, if we're aware of these signs, something's going to happen, because there's a reason why so many synchronicities keep happening. So pay attention to your spending. Make sure you're not just being like, oh, well, I'll get it back. It's good to be that, free with how you spend, because that's, what am I trying to say? It's good to be like that, because then you aren't afraid of losing money, which means you're not in a fearful spirit. But at the same time, when we get in these modes, especially with different transits and different things happening, according to the stars, well, a lot of people will lose a lot more than they are building, because they aren't paying attention to the effects of overspending, or the effects of having too broad of a friendliness. Like it's good to be good sometimes, but when good turns bad, it turns bad. So you really want to make sure you're paying attention to how much you spend. If you are one of these people who feel like you already have a problem with spending, maybe you should work with citrine on, some shadow work. So black obsidian and citrine together. Or you could just use, amethyst would be good for that. Can't think right now. Stopping habits. There's another one that's good for stopping habits, but I can't think right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the end of your August for Aries. Alrighty, so I'm sorry, I feel like I keep getting tongue twisted because I just want to speak so fast. Okay, so the energy for the end of your August is King of Cups, okay? So this is someone who is in control of their emotions and who is confident on knowing that their emotions aren't going to steer them wrong. Like, you can have faith in your emotions on how you feel because your mind is in the right space. Your heart is in the right space, okay? So beautiful card, beautiful energy for the end of August, okay? So we will have some type of judgment time, something that kind of like a crossroads moment. So it's kind of like you're going to either do it or you're not. This is a moment of do or die. This is self-analyzation, confessions for some, realizations. This may be a time where someone notices, like, it's kind of like a clarity moment. So tiger's eye, if you work with crystals, tiger's eye would be a really good stone to work with at the end of August. You may start having a lot of huge transformational moments for you because you realize, oh my God, that's what, like, it's like an aha moment, okay? We'll do clarifications for that card later. But we also have the Seven of Swords energy here. So there is going to be some sneakiness happening. There is going to be something that's questionable happening, okay? And I do think this has something to do with you because this is not in reverse. If it was in reverse, I'd be saying it's something happening to someone else. But no, sweetie, this is happening. You're doing something. Either you're doing it or you will find out something is happening behind your back. We'll do clarification for that. And then we end off the August lovely, this is one of my favorite cards, Nine of Cups. This is being completely satisfied with everything that has happened. Almost like at the end of a movie where when you watch a movie and then you go home after you come home from the theaters and you just kind of kick off your shoes and you lay back and, or after work you come home from a long day, but it was a productive day. Maybe you made a lot of money. Maybe you, it was just a good day. And that's how it is. Like one of those days where it wasn't too much happening. It wasn't like a huge difference. But at the end of the day, you get home and you're like, whew. Today was a full day, like it was a full day. I worked, I went home, I ate, you did, you know what I'm saying? After everything that happened, it's done. And now you get to sit back and relax. And so that's how it's going to feel for August. After all this stuff that happens, you'll finally have a time where you sit and you're like, okay, this was a crazy month, or this was a lot of stuff happening this month, but I got through it. This is a month, this was a hell of a month, a full month, but I got through it. And so I think for a lot of you, that's going to be the feeling at the end of August, okay? So let's see what this judgment is about. Aries. What is this judgment about? Okay, so this is a really good card to have for judgment. So this is a realization, and I think this is going to come perfectly with the, this is the Leo card, this is the Sun card. In reverse and upright, it's a really good card. So I think whatever you find out or whatever you realize, it's going to be something about yourself. I think you're really going to come to a situation where it's like the Leo season really works with your energy this year. And it really shows, it's like, okay, this year we're going to learn something about ourselves in the month of Leo, but I think it's going to be an emotional realization about yourself, almost like a newfound strength, a renewal of who you are, a remembrance of who you are, the inner child. It's going to be recognized this month, and there may be some things that come with it that it's like, I could do without that. But the overall learning, the overall thing that you learn about yourself is going to be something that you really cherish, and I think you'll keep with you for years to come, okay? This is, really heavy energy. Really heavy energy. Let's see what the Seven of Swords is about. What is... So we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So whatever the sneakiness is, it may have to do with something in your job. Or maybe someone promised you some type of path or some type of journey, and you figure out that it's faulty, it's fraud, it's fraudulent. This is almost like a money, I think this is a money thing. This is like a financial letdown or a financial, it's not a letdown, but it's something that makes you have to do something different instead of what you planned, okay? And so it may be because you found out that you can't trust this person, so now you're like, okay, well, I want to work with somebody different. Or maybe you figure out this person was betraying you behind your back, and you're like, oh no, we can't, you know, like let's find something else to work with. Let's find a whole new, let's start over. Like I don't want to have anything to do with that person, okay? And this Nine of Cups. Uh-oh. Never mind. Okay. I think that's it, guys. Okay. So, yeah, your August look like it's going to be really, really eventful. Just to have a little, overcap over all the cards that I'm seeing. Okay. So in the beginning of August, the signs that I see, let's see. So you may have a Capricorn around, maybe a fatherly figure in the beginning of August. Maybe a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo in the mix. But this is a person who usually is playful and fun. But in the beginning of August, they may be acting like mean and like kind of just scary. Like you're afraid to ask them for anything because they blow up or something. You may have, again, Sag in the middle of your August. Maybe an Aquarius. A Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, one of the water signs. A Leo, maybe at the end of your August. And I believe that's it. Okay, so I'm Love from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day I will be. And if you would like a private reading, a personal reading, I leave all of my information down below. All you have to do is reach out and connect to me on social media or email me. I'll get right back to you, and it's speedy. So okay, just hit me up. The faster you get your reading in, the faster I can get to you. So do it as soon as you can. And just for a heads up, the few things that I do require or I do need is your birth dates. And if you are looking for a relationship reading, I need their birth date as well. If you don't know your rising sign, moon sign, sun sign, just give me your birth date and I can figure all that out for you. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling. So yeah, enjoy your August, enjoy your Leo season. I'm so excited for you guys, and enjoy all of these emotional things happening. It's really going to be important. I really do think it's going to benefit you in, a good way. And so yeah, enjoy your August, and I will see you very, very soon, okay?